Okay, I've made some changes to my 3D print station, and I thought it was time to go ahead and share the changes with you. So this is my CR10. This is the original CR10. And I've done other videos that show things I've done here, including my start and stop scripts in my software. I've showed you most of these updates I've done, these plastic things I printed. Everything in orange I printed for the printer. These are all updates for the printer. I use orange for my printer updates, and I don't really use it for anything else. One of the first things I did, which you can see here, is this print bed service, the build service, the CC tree. I printed this parking fender on it, and I'll explain the parking fender a little bit later. I will have a link for another video that describes it and shows you what it's all about. But this is a parking fender for my electric unicycle. But anyways, you know, looking at this, it's like, it's a really nice print. It's like, well, that's kind of impressive. But what's really impressive is that I printed this fender right here without an enclosure in this room, and it's ABS. It's an ABS print using the CC tree build service. Now, full disclosure, I did heat the room up to about 80 degrees for the evening while I printed this. This print takes about 16 hours. So I had 80 degrees for about 16 hours in here. So it's kind of like having an enclosure, but I don't have an enclosure, and it came out beautiful. Next thing I did, I changed the insert, the tool insert on this cup. As you can see here, here's the old tool insert. Here's the new one, and the new one allows me to have an X-Acto knife in it. That's basically the only change I did. But I wanted to have the X-Acto knife here because these are the main tools that I use all the time. These are my other tools I use, you know, randomly. But these are like the stock tools except for the X-Acto knife that was added. The other thing I did was a little box that holds all my nozzles. But the big change I've done, I'll show you the first half first, is this. So this is an enclosure that holds a ribbon cable adapter. So this is an SD card adapter that goes from the micro SD on the side of the printer. There's a ribbon cable, it plugs in there, and then a ribbon cable comes over here and comes out to a full-size SD adapter. So this is the second half of the big update, and this is pretty cool. So this is a FlashAir 16 gig SD card, full-size SD card. So the benefit here is this slot isn't nearly as likely to break as soon as the micro SD card slot, because those do fail. That's why I wanted to take the attention off of that, so I went to this. So I can take my regular SD cards, put them in here, you know, I can pop them in and out, and eventually that slot will also wear out. So this is a Wi-Fi SD card. So what is that? Well, this is an SD card that has, it literally has two wireless networks inside of it. Built into, it's a standard thickness, standard size SD card, and there's two wireless networks inside this thing. So when I plug this in and boot up the printer, it actually starts a wireless network, and my computer connects to this wireless network so that I can send my STL files directly to my printer from the other room. I don't have to transfer that SD card back and forth to the PC and back like I used to. I love this. So I'll go ahead and turn on the printer, and this is something that I've had installed for a while, but I don't think I've ever shown it. Alexa, turn on the printer. And there she goes. Now it might be a little bit noisy in the room right now because my pellet stove is running. It's cold outside, so I've got the pellet stove going. Another update I did, I forgot to mention, is I did the fans inside the box. I did replace all the fans in the box, and they are so quiet now that this is literally the loudest thing on the printer now. It's louder than everything else on the whole printer, so it's kind of amazing that those fans are so quiet. I got those from tinymachines3d.com. Those guys are great to deal with. I've bought a few things from them, and they're just awesome. So I highly recommend going there and getting this, the 3 fans for the inside of the box here. Big difference. You do have to solder them in, so be aware if you want to take that on, you need to know that. So anyways, I've turned on the printer. The SD card is now transmitting a wireless signal. So we'll jump over to the PC now, and I'll show you what happens from that side. Okay, so we've moved to the computer. And this is a PC. This is an HP computer, but I am running Hackintosh. So it's got Mac OS on it. And this is Mac OS Mojave, so it's a little bit glitchy in Mojave. So It's not quite as smooth as it was on High Sierra, but anyways, here we go. So I've got this, this is another one of those parking fenders. This is the one I have on my wheel right now. I got the Superman logo on it because that's how I like to run it. And I've already sliced it, and then we're going to go ahead and save it to that SD card that's in the printer. Now the printer is about 30 feet away from me in the kitchen, and I'm in my office. I'm going to send this over the network to the SD card in the printer. So I'm going to go ahead and say save file. I'm going to select the FlashAir, which I'm already selected. Actually, I've got a file there already. So here, let me do this real quick. I'm going to delete that. Okay, so the FlashAir is currently empty. That SD card is currently empty, so I'm going to go ahead and save it to the SD card right now. And for some reason it's a little bit slow today. Normally it's fairly quick. Although part of that could be this fender. There's a lot of, I don't know why, but it takes a while to save these fenders when I do them. I think it's because of the way I designed them. I didn't design them real clean. If you hear that noise in the background, that's my dog. She's got her favorite chew toy. It's got some cheese flavored treat in it or something, so I apologize. So anyways, there it's saved. So now we're going to go back to the printer and I'll show you what's going on that side. Okay, so I'm back at the printer, and the cool thing is you don't even have to refresh that SD card. Once you access it, that file's sitting there already. So I'm going to go down, print from SD, and there's the file right there. Go down, start it, and you can see it starting up here. So that's the cool update I did, the FlashAir SD card and the SD card adapter over here. Pretty happy with it. And if you want to know more about these fenders and what they go on, the electric unicycles, I've got a whole playlist of Unicycle, and it shows the electric unicycle and my attempt to ride the manual unicycle again. I used to ride a manual unicycle when I was a kid, and I haven't done it for years, and so I think it's been over 30 years or something, and I tried it again. I can ride it, but I'm not good. But I think one of these days I'll get on it and actually get back to riding it pretty well. So anyways, if you feel like it, check out that. The electric unicycles are a lot of fun. I mean, I really highly recommend you look into it. It's a great way to get transportation. It's fun to ride. There's a big group of people out there that ride them, and it's something you might look into. But anyways, back to 3D printing. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you on the next one.